What's up, YouTube? It's Robert Falco from Real Life Trading coming at you with our Wednesday stock review. Let's jump on into it. All right, here is our Wednesday stock review. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. A little bit of a doji today. We did have very mild selling. Looks like it was a lot, but I think at the most we were down like 0.5% out there today. Although there was some great money to be made on shorting, we did end up bouncing relatively nicely, and we did close back above the 10. So I do think the trend is still intact, and things are looking pretty bullish overall. Again, the Qs ran down right into the 10 moving average today, and then bounced as well. So there was some good opportunity short after that. This literally lasted what, like 30 minutes maybe, and then it was a bounce, a little bit of a bull move, and then pretty sideways for most of the day. Same thing with IWM. Again, you had about 30 minutes of selling and then pretty much sideways. The IWM did come down, hit the 50 and the 20. So still holding above the 50. That's nice to see. Let me actually go over to the DIA as well real quick. My friend Josh absolutely crushed a short on the Dow. I think he shorted right here up at like 351.49. Might have been his exact entry actually. I think he had a partial down in here around 350.82, and then bought to cover at the new low somewhere down in this area, like right in front of the 50. I think the 50 was like 350.16, something like that today. All right, let's jump over to the stocks that you requested from last week. And the first one, SWI, SolarWinds Corporation. This was the company, I believe, that had the hack. I think Russia was all up in the U.S. government for like over a year, something like that. That's what this huge drop over here was. It tried to recover, and it's back down. Not looking great for SolarWinds, especially when you have other cybersecurity companies that are looking so good, like CrowdStrike, Zscaler, Okta, etc. This one just does not look great. Let me see if there's anything on the weekly. Monthly, maybe. Once again, nope. Just this one doesn't look too great. It looks like it's going to go lower. Yeah, I get it. There's some horizontal support here, but right now the trend is not good. So this one looks like it's going to be on its way back into the mid to low 15s, and then maybe you could try off of these lower supports. Otherwise, I would steer clear of this one and stick with the ones that are in solid trends. Roku as well. I think Roku is in a little bit of trouble. I'm out of Roku after their earnings. It started to break down up here. I bailed on Roku. I've not gotten back in. I don't think I want to until it comes much lower, at least down into this 280, 275 area, and then pyramiding in. But I think Roku's in a little bit of trouble right now. Here's the long terms. We're back below the long-term moving averages. We have not been below the 200 since around COVID time. Other than that, I mean, we very shortly dipped below the 200 in May, bounced really solidly. Not only have we closed below, but we retested the long-term moving averages from the bottom, and we failed literally immediately. I know Yates was running our trading room saying, hey, if we take this bullish candle out, that's not going to be good. We literally took it out the very next day, retested. This looks like a bear flag to me. If Roku does not immediately bounce in here, Roku's in trouble, and I think it's going to go much lower. So I would hold off buying this personally until it's at least below 300, but that's just me. And if you're in, could use some collars or some protective puts to protect you to the downside. Here's PENN. You can see it right between the 100 and 200 long-term moving averages. I do like that we broke back above the 50. You can see right here, we failed the 50 pretty easily before, and this was just holding it down this whole time since it failed back over in April. So nice that we broke and held above it. So I do think that's good for PENN. This has had an amazing run off of this like $354. It didn't quite make it back to a 618 retrace that I would have liked to see. But if it does hold up and consolidate in this area and break to the upside, it looks like it could have a little more movement in it. I think I would prefer to try to buy a retest of like the 20 though, and then have it break higher, just so that I'm getting in a little bit lower. Again, with swing trades personally, or longer term, I like to buy limit buys. I don't see any reason to really do breakouts most of the time, because you have plenty of time for something to retest when you're swing trading. Coca-Cola just remains very strong, holding this nice trend line here, back above the 50 today. So the trend is your friend, and right now the trend is bullish. So I do think that Coca-Cola pays a good dividend. It's actually dividends coming up in a couple days. So if you want the dividend, 42 cents coming up here, ex-dividend dates, only a couple days away. You can still grab that and then see if it bounces after, you know, the ex-dividend gap down. Try to snag that dividend. StarBucks, I think I mentioned this last week, but this double bottom right here, nice retest and a fantastic bounce today. Unfortunately, I played these two candles right here. I sold on this day. I was going to get back in the middle of this candle, and it just missed my order by like 14 cents. I lowered my order again the next day because it had got so close. This candle missed me by like 8 cents, and I just never got in, unfortunately. But if you're in, it looks fantastic. It's pumpkin spice latte season, and Starbucks does well around this time. Great candle today. If you are in, I don't see any reason why it should take out the low of yesterday and today. So that's where I would put my stop, and probably be targeting into this like 119.17, you know, 120. If you're feeling really froggy, maybe your final target could be up into this gap up here. I don't know that that gap fills anytime soon. It might take a little bit because Starbucks is a little bit of a slower mover, but it looks great. If you're in off this double bottom, off the 100, this candle is exactly what you wanted to see today. Crypto, so hopefully you all got to watch Newsom's video on Monday. I know it was Labor Day, but Jeremy said, hey, I need to put a video out. I'm feeling like there's a potential of a pullback, and I mean, he nailed it like to the day. Solana was requested. This is held up really strong. I mean, how many fib levels can this thing hit in one day yesterday? So this one held up the best. I thought maybe this was like a parabolic top here, but it does look like we went a little bit higher today. We'll see if we can close above there. Here's a little fib extension that I drew, and Solana looks really, really strong. It's getting up there market cap wise, and so I do think that this one needs a little bit of a rest. So if you're in, I'm not in this one. If I was, I would probably have my stops trailed pretty tight. Heck, I might even trail my stop all the way up to 183, honestly, just because your average is probably so low. I don't think the time to buy is now on that one. Let's go over to Ethereum. This had a really, really strong pullback right into a fib level again, the 1618. And I do think this could make its way up to 4,600. I think this is probably the dip, but if it does come a little bit lower, I did buy a little more yesterday. I do still have an order at 2850 that obviously did not get filled, but I think the best you're probably going to do is a retrace back into like 2400 maybe. I don't think you're going to see sub 2000 again anytime soon until like it makes a new high, and you know, maybe has some ginormous pullback at that point, but I don't think that that's going to happen. So I would try to slowly accumulate. That's what I'm doing, and then I do have some limit buy orders a little bit lower. So that's it for your Wednesday stock review. Love life, live life, trade it. Thanks everybody.